Christianity is always just one generation away from extinction. The reason you're here is because somebody told you. The previous generation passed the faith on to us. If they hadn't, none of us would be here. It is our duty to pass it on to the next generation, and their duty to pass it on to the next, and on to the next, and on to the next, as it has been done for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So, what are we supposed to pass on? What is the legacy that we want to leave behind? Psalm 78 on your message notes, verse 4 says this: "We will not hide these truths from our children, but we will teach the next generation." If you are a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend of somebody of the next generation, I highly urge you to take notes on what we're going to talk about today and pass it on. Now, what are we supposed to pass on? Well, we are to pass on our faith, and we are to pass on our values. Our faith and our values. And what values are we supposed to pass on to the next generation? We're supposed to pass on the values that last. Now, the Bible is filled with the values that last. But the three most important, or the three most famous ones, are found in 1 Corinthians 13:13. It says, "These things continue forever." In other words, these three values are eternal values. They're going to last forever. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. During the next 3 weeks, following this week, we're going to look at these three values: faith, hope, and love, leaving a legacy of hope to the next generation. That'll be next week. Leaving a legacy of faith to the next generation. That'll be the week following. And leaving a legacy of love to the next generation will be the following week. Now, it's interesting that this week, as I began to study for this series, faith, hope, and love, I went out and I did a little study on these words in the Bible. And here's an interesting fact. You don't have to write this down, but the word faith is used 246 times in the Bible. The word hope is used 185 times in the Bible. And the word love is used 733 times in the Bible. But the word give is used 2,285 times. The Bible says more about generosity than faith and hope and love put together. Now, I found that quite odd. And to be honest with you, I was kind of perplexed by it. Why is it that the Bible would talk more about generosity than faith and hope and love put together? I mean, it just didn't seem to make sense to me. So I began to go and study all of these verses. And what I discovered is that generosity is simply the practical expression of those three values. It is the way you express faith, hope, and love.